I set my face like flint. This is what we heard in the prophet Isaiah. Flint, as you well know, is a rock that when it's struck causes a spark, igniting a fire. I cannot think of a better image to capture Jesus' passion. This fire that he starts, we know, is going to change the face of the world. But it comes because he first set his face. What does that mean? It means that he turned definitively toward God. Because he knew God's will for him was to go into Jerusalem, and he was radically committed to that. And this stands, of course, in stark contrast to the whole history of Israel. And it's important to recognize in Israel's history really the entirety of human history. And what we find there are the countless times that Israel turned her back on God and set her face toward the world, its comforts and all of its loves. And time and again, the cycle would go round and round. The result of this decision would be a lot of pain, suffering, and ultimately slavery, sometimes political, but always spiritual. And after all of this, as we just heard in the gospel, they still continue to do so when they chose Barabbas rather than Jesus. Because in Barabbas was their way of achieving salvation rather than the way that God had been trying to lead them toward from the moment of their existence. Now, this is valuable to us because part of our Lenten journey includes recognizing how we, in little ways and in big, have the same tendency within us. And hopefully we saw how miserable that makes us and desire to change. And so what happens in this gospel is that Jesus shows us another way. He turns his face toward God and his back to the world. And the world hated him for it. I gave my back to those who beat me. My face I did not shield from buffets and spitting. And beat and buffet and spit they did. It is true that choosing God is hard. And the world, in different ways, big and small, will hate those who do it. But it's always worth it. The passion was not a mistake or a misplaced good intention. You see, without the flint, there is no spark, which means there's no fire. And both the world and ourselves would remain cold in our misery. And so my hope is that, encouraged by Jesus' example, all of us now, as we get to the end of our Lenten journey, would make a choice. Turn your face like flint toward God. Become the spark the Holy Spirit needs you to be. Set the world ablaze.